All right, welcome to the second episode of the podcast. Shut the fuck up and listen. We are recording this episode a week later than we were expecting. Would you like to tell the people why? I'm your host, Barry Kuda. This is your other host,
John.
And John had a fun little surprise nap last recording session.
Yeah, nap, mini OD, whatever you want to call it.
Your heart got too tired. We were smoking some weed that turned out to be laced with cocaine. I usually say no, just kidding, it's flour after that, but it was in fact cocaine. And we're not gonna talk about who it was that brought the cocaine weed. That's different. That's different.
Yeah. No.
It definitely wasn't me, and it definitely didn't. I definitely didn't pack both of the bowls that eventually led to you just passing out.
No, I'm pretty sure that was a ghost.
But you had me call 911. You had me call the paramedics, the fire department. The operator told me that the police needed to come, which that didn't make me feel good. But thankfully, the cop was chill.
Yeah. No, apparently everybody gets one. It's a Spider-Man thing.
They know what people do out here. They know people are gonna OD.
When that cop came back inside and started talking about all right, now, overdose this and overdose that. And I'm like, okay, but I was just smoking weed. I smoke weed every day because I have a lot of pain from a car accident. But
meanwhile, I'm like, oh god, it's fent weed. Oh fuck, I smoked fent weed. Oh, I'm gonna be addicted to fentanyl for the rest of my life. No, that didn't happen.
No, just
not yet.
Just a little snow.
just a little snow.
Just had a little flurry. Went to sleep for a few seconds and.
See, I usually wait till Christmas. It's Halloween. I got an early Chevy. Is it considered a Chevy?
It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas now that we got a snowball. Early Christmas came with an unintentional, unknown snowball. Is it still a snowball if it's baked into the weed as opposed to sprinkled on top?
I don't know. Maybe that's kind of like a rock in the snowball situation.
I was gonna say like an ice storm, but I think a rock and a snowball is a lot more accurate with what it did to you.
Oh yeah, it made me go to sleep.
See, you fell face first into my butt stank. It was right in my chair. It almost fried my computer. No, you didn't. Everything was fine. Water wasn't filled up high enough. I like the idea of me bringing you a fully to the brim water, and then you just passing out and pouring it on my computer.
Immediately.
And I'm like, well, I have to be mad at myself there. I'm still one of the people to be mad at.
That was quite the experience.
Thankfully, everyone was fine. Your blood pressure was still fucking shot for the rest of that day. It feels like, but especially
I felt kind of funky the rest of the day until I went to sleep.
It's don't mess with laced weed. It's not a thing to be trifled with. Buy from a legitimate source, or just be ready to fail for cocaine. At worst case scenario, I'm glad it wasn't being fully serious. I'm glad that it wasn't laced with anything worse.
I just get right back on my opioid addiction from accidental fent weed.
Also, dude, that weed sucked.
They had to make it better somehow.
And I feel like they did a bad job of making it better.
That's the worst way to make it better.
So here's the thing. I feel like there's definitely a way that you could lace your weed with cocaine that would give it the addictive properties that you want to get people to come back and buy more, but not just make you anxious. And I was anxious that whole fucking week. That week sucked. I was the entire time, people would interact with me, and then I'd say way too much, and I'd be like, oh, I fucked up. Oh, God, I need to get out of here. And then I'd drive away or run away. And I feel like I failed almost every social interaction that I had. I was not on my A game, and then the cop tells me, oh, yeah, this has cocaine in it. And I'm like, see, this is why I stick to downers. This is why I don't do coke at the club. I just drink and drive. Kidding. Legally, that's a joke. This can't be used in court. But other than that, it seemed like everything was fine for us. Other people probably got that. Maybe somebody died. Who knows? There's probably at
Who
least
knows?
one person who died because of that cocaine weed.
Do you think maybe like that one batch, they've been doing it well for like other batches, then that one they're like, oops, they're like, it'll be all right.
No, I think that they're just bad at it. I think they just fucked up, and I think that they regularly fuck up when they cook their cocaine. Because
They're just
I
bad drug
knew
lords.
a guy who was banned from Florida, which I can tell that story in a second. But we're
How
gonna
do you
call
get banned from okay, yeah, we're gonna have to
we're
go
gonna
this
call
way.
him John with no H, because that's what he told me his name was. It's definitely not. But he fucking he told me. Wait, hold on. What was I saying?
Getting banned from Florida.
No, before the ban from Florida.
Oh
Oh
hell.
yeah, how to cook cocaine into weed. So I don't say. Here's the thing: the guy was cooking crack. He wasn't cooking weed with cocaine. So I don't know if he was telling the truth here. But he asked him when he was like putting cocaine in the oven. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, so you take the weed and you dry it out with the cocaine on top of it." And it picks up and like absorbs into the weed, and it makes your weed better. It gives you like a head rush with your weed. And he said later that he was just cooking crack, and he found that out. But
What, like he looked up instructions on the internet and then like halfway through he's like, oh wait, I'm just making crack.
yeah, all he saw was him pouring like cocaine into the pan. He was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, just lacing weed." And the guy was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." And meanwhile, he's cooking crack. So I don't know if he was being legit about how you lace weed when he gave that information, but that's supposedly how you do it: is you bake uncured weed in the oven with the cocaine, and then it goes. So I think the
We'll definitely
guy.
have to cut this part out.
Maybe I don't know. Listen, self harm reduction. This is this and sat. No, not harm reduction. This is satire. I don't even, like I said. I don't know if that guy is even real or telling the truth. If he was real,
I
this
hope
is
he's
all
not real.
just a
That'd be
story.
hilarious.
Everything we've said for the past 7.5 minutes has been just a fun little story. But this next one, has a legal charge attached to it, so it's real. This one we can confirm. I actually haven't confirmed it, but theoretically you could confirm it if you knew the guy's name. But we don't know the guy's name. We're calling him John, but not your John. Anyways, he was in Florida with an 8 ball. He got an 8 ball of cocaine from one of his friends, and he found some hookers, and he was like, "Hey, do you? No, wait.
Hookers and blow, classic.
It was either more than an 8 ball or an 8 ball." And he took these two hookers to a hotel, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to start working for me? Do you have a pimp?" And they were like, "Nah." And he was like, "Okay, I'll be your pimp. I'll protect you. You just give me a cut of the money." And he started just like getting these hookers and getting this blow, and then the operation was getting bigger and bigger. And over the next like 3 months, he got an entire hotel room floor from one of his friends who he gave a bunch of blow to.
An entire hotel floor.
That he kept the hookers at. He had like multiple. He had like 7 or 8 different hookers. He had his own personal room there. He got with all of the money that he got a nice car.
Is this like
He
a no
was
vacancy hotel-esque situation?
yeah, and he like was living the life in 1980s Florida, just like moving girls while doing a bunch of blow.
Yeah, that's like the height of the blow crisis down there, right?
And like he's like getting cheap, clean blow, like not right from the source, but as close to the source.
He's getting it from the beach.
Yeah, he's getting it from the fucking beach. And so everybody's flying high, and they're having a good time. And one of the girls, it's like, I think he said it was 4 or 5 months in, one of the girls hits him up and is like, "Hey, I've got a regular here who wants to come out. He wants to meet up, but he doesn't have anywhere to meet up. So can we come to your personal apartment?" And he was like, "All right. Yeah, I need to make money. I got to do this." But he was like paranoid, so he didn't want to leave the apartment empty. He had all of his stuff, so he took his valuables into the bathroom with him, and he left out some lines for her and the regular. And he went to the bathroom, and they came in, and they did their thing. He could hear it. And then the guy leaves, and he hears this whole energy exchange happen. So he pops his head out, and he sees her just lying there, and he's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna interrupt her. She's like doing her thing, relaxing after like having her time."
Right,
Um,
right.
and next thing he knows, there's like a fucking like banging at the door, and he freaks out, thinks the cops, and hears his girl's voice. And it's like, why is she dead? And he comes outside. Turns out she OD'd on cocaine.
Oh shit.
And through line, segue, connect the callback. And he freaks the fuck out and bails. He just fucking runs, and he's in Miami. He starts heading for the Florida border, and he gets caught by a state trooper, and they already know everything, and they take him to
Holy
court.
shit.
He's in jail for like a month or two, and he finally gets up on the stand, and they're like, "Okay, so do you want to keep living here?" And he was like, "I mean, what? Not, I don't have to. Why?" It's like, if you just want to like never come back to this state, we'll just get you to leave. We'll just leave. We'll just kick you out, because we don't want to have to fucking deal with your ass. You've caused so much problem. You came in here 5 months ago and just became a pimp, and we don't want to deal with you. So get out of the state, or we're gonna put you in prison." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, I can leave. I'll just get out." And they escorted him to the state line, and they told him, "If you ever come back, then you're going to prison." And that was it.
That is a crazy story.
That's like the third thing I ever heard from this man when I worked at Waffle House.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, of course you heard it from a guy at Waffle House.
He had a broken pinky because he was trying to hustle pool hustlers, which looking back, I think he might have just been a pool hustler. And he...
You don't believe his wild Miami pimp stories?
I did at the time. Looking back, it's a bit outlandish. But at the same time, I could see it. There were a lot of things that he said that felt like they were exaggerations, and that one felt like the least amount of exaggerations were told. There definitely were exaggerations. I don't think he got a whole floor of the hotel room.
Would he be like
Of the
Dracula
hotel.
Flo at like how close does
He
does
did
look like
kind
the
of
guy that
look
looks
like Dracula Flo, but without the Sharpie. Without the Sharpie and the sunglasses. He looked like a smaller, like fatter, sorry, not fatter. I love you,
believe
John.
him.
Stouter Dracula Flo. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I believe
him.
I want to believe. X-Files type shit. I want to believe. But I can't say for certain that he didn't just run. In which case, yeah, I don't know what his real name is. Other than
Is he
that,
just like a regular customer, or is this like a one-time?
yeah, this was a
interaction?
regular. I've also seen him since then, and we've had good conversations. I love this
Can we
guy.
get him on the pod?
Maybe, I don't know. I can try. Let me make a note of that. Because
That would be a
I
phenomenal interview.
supposedly have his number. But I don't know if that's still
You
his number.
supposedly have his number?
I don't know if that's his number. I don't know if he's still here in this state. I don't
How long ago
know
was this?
if he's still alive. That was 2 years ago, at least.
That's not super long, but I guess when you live a life like that, 2 years could do a lot.
That's what I'm saying. No, he was one of my favorite regulars. Him. There was also a war veteran who had a Purple Heart license plate. And he would come in, and we'd see his car pull up. He would take like 5-10 minutes to get into the store. And
Was that from the bullet wound?
no, it was just because he was hanging out. But maybe he had he seemed to be. He said something about anger management problems one time, and he seemed to be a very reserved man in a way that's like kind of scary. But he was very small. All of these men that I'm about to talk about were very small, I'm realizing.
What a weird pattern.
He would always want fresh coffee, and we would make a fresh pot of coffee, fresh hot coffee pot whenever we saw his car pull up. And that was a whole 2 hours of your shift, basically hanging out and talking with him, and he was very
You would stay
charming.
there for 2 hours?
He would get his coffee, get his dinner, and then he would take like 30 minutes to eat. So that was like a whole almost an hour, and then he'd sit there for another hour or maybe hour and a half and then leave, depending on how entertaining you were. He liked hanging out with me. He also liked hanging out with the night shift girls. not for the reasons that you'd think.
Right.
Then there
right,
was
right.
this other guy who was schizophrenic and divorced, and on the weekends that he didn't have his daughter, he would come out to Waffle House so that way he would stay sober and he wouldn't drink.
Okay, good for him. Good for
He
Waffle House keeping that man sober.
he was one of my favorite regulars, if not my favorite regular, and he gave me legitimate guidance. That man was fucking
Hell
tight. He brought his daughter in a couple times too. I got to meet her, and overall he was a very kind man. I have to talk about rot maxing. Is that what it was?
Oh yeah. That is what we got to.
So, rot maxing is a thing that girls do. So you know how guys are incels and girls can be femcels, and most girls that are femcels, it's like they're just unbearable to be around, and that's why they're a femcel. Like they could probably get laid if they, just like kept their fucking mouth shut. No, there's a different level of actual femicel. That's the reason I say that is because I feel like a lot of women who are like emotionally kind of like put like men off and are femcells because they are emotionally not fun to be around, they can still get it. A lot of them are still hot. There's guys that are like, damn, she is hard to interact with, but like it kind of makes my penis hard. The way she's hard makes me hard. There's also women who don't leave their room and spend like hours at a time in their bed just on their phone scrolling. They don't have a life.
Nice.
They usually are living off of other people's supplemental income, whether it's their parents or friends that want to take care of them, or
Right.
Discord. There may be like a full-time Discord kitten, where they're getting money given to them.
Okay, yeah,
And so these girls will just be in bed or in their computer chairs for hours at a time in a way that you would typically see like a neckbeard, like a World of Warcraft or
okay,
Reddit
yeah.
like neckbeard from like the 2000s, like that stereotype, but make it like a hot girl that barely ever eats and is like, remember like Tumblr girls that were like really skinny and hot and were
Yeah.
like, yeah, I love throwing up into the toilet, and people are like, fuck queen, go get it, keep staying skinny. It's like that.
Whatever it takes, girl.
It's that girl if she didn't have any friends or social life outside of the internet.
Oh no.
And it's rot maxing is what they do, where that's the activity of sitting in their chair and scrolling the internet for 8 hours or more. Sometimes it can be up to like 24 to 48 hours.
How often do you think those girls sell their chair to neckbeards?
They don't. They have to keep it until it breaks because they can't buy another chair. Some of them probably are selling their shit though. Some of them, get a seat cushion.
Yeah.
Sell your seat cushions.
Yeah, you're telling me some dude on the internet wouldn't buy that?
No, they absolutely would. And here's the problem, right? Is that people who are rot maxing do get encouraged by the communities that they're in to continue to rot max. And when I see it, I get nervous. I get scared. I don't remember why we were talking about it. So yeah, I am fascinated by it, but I think it gets to the point where trigger warning, maggots in vagina. It gets to the point where people will, and I think this is a real story. People have like said that she makes other stories like this, and supposedly people have found like instances of her like posting not like proof, but rotten things that would go alongside. So if we're led to believe what she did, she found a piece of like rotten steak that got thrown out at a diner, and she shoved it inside of her hoo-ha, inside of her hooter, inside of her hoochie mama, and left it in there for a weekend and just sat in her bed, rot maxing. Hey, call back. Sat there in her bed rot maxing for like 3 days, and on the third day she went into septic shock. So she describes in great detail. The story takes like 15, 20 minutes to read. And she describes in like explicit detail how she feels them like moving around and shit. And like that's what it does. That's what does it for her. And
Oh my fucking god.
yeah, so that's the kind of like extremes that rot maxing can get to.
So
And
it wasn't even her steak though?
what? What a what?
Was it her own steak?
No, it was
just
found
some
in a
random-
dumpster,
Found in a dumpster.
covered in maggots, and she was like, "This is exactly what I've been looking for."
Who? No.
This,
No. No, there's no way. Like somebody looks at like fucking decaying piece of steak with maggots crawling on it, and their first thought is, "I'm gonna shove that in my pussy." No.
I had a friend who who would like to, her favorite thing was to read that story forcefully to people.
That is nuts.
It's
You know,
like,
I actually do have a favorite story to tell people.
So no,
Like,
it was so bad because people would get really
No,
drunk at the
no.
party house and they would be too drunk to leave, and
She would just trap him and read the story.
that was like a regular thing that happened. For me, I was one of the first, like not the first victims, but I was one of the earlier victims whenever we were still teenagers.
You were a victim of this?
Mm-hmm.
No,
this is how it
Barry.
happened to me. This is my confession. No, I would go over to her house because I was like in love with her at the time, and I would spend like from like probably.
Did you know she did this
no,
at this time?
well, I didn't find out until it was too late.
Oh no.
I knew about the things she did on Tumblr. I knew about like the fucked up shit she was into. She was one of the bulimic girls. I don't think she was actually ever bulimic, but the girl that she was in love with that overdosed, she was bulimic whenever she was like a kid. I'm pretty sure either that or
okay.
anorexic. That was like their thing, is that they would just like not
Their
eat.
thing.
They were Tumblr anorexia emo girls, e-girls, or early proto e-girls.
Yeah.
They really were proto e-girls.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm hanging out with this proto e-girl.
That was
and-
mistake number one.
Dude, I saw her at the fair, and I saw her titties bouncing around, and I looked in her eyes, and I saw her long blonde hair. I was like, fuck, I'm fucked. Shit, fuck. And that was like the next like 6 years of my life, dude.
Oh,
was just
no.
her. And so this was like year 3 or some shit. I would go over to her house. She used to have a boyfriend. He ended up on methamphetamines. But she used to have a boyfriend, and they broke up because she was like, I think I might be bisexual. And he was like, well, I can't handle that. And she was like, you think I can handle that? And he's like,
agenda's
I'm
at it again.
done. What?
The agenda's at it again.
Dude, turning good Christian girls into lesbians through one bad breakup at a time. So they have their interaction. I'm like, fuck yeah, now's my chance. And so I start going over at like 9-10 p.m. I'm 16 years old. I'm over there at 9-10 p.m. until like 3 a.m. hanging out with her. And on one of these nights, I think, yeah, around one of these nights at 16 years old, maybe 17, but I'm pretty sure it was 16. She locks me into her car, and she starts forcing me to read this. And to be fair, I could have left. But she starts reading this story to me, and I not only am in love with this girl, but I'm like wanting to know where the story's headed. And I get to a point where I'm like, this is so fucking horrible. And she's like, no, you have to make it to the end. And the end of the story is just she wakes up in the hospital. The end of the story is her parents found her, and she woke up in the hospital, and she got therapy. That didn't work because she kept doing this. There's more stories.
Wait, she kept doing this?
There's more stories.
Okay, so like,
I'm assuming she's dead now. I hope she's dead now for the world's sake.
There's no way you can keep shoving decaying pieces of meat in your vag and live to tell the tale.
It wasn't just meat. It was other things. There was so many things that she would put inside of herself.
Were they all rotting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they need, maggots. It's a vessel for the maggots so they don't eat her. This is
Maybe
what
they should.
rot maxing leads to, and this is why women have to have sex. This is why we can't let them be femcells. This is the problem. If I'm trying to figure out a good way to segue this into femboys, low key, but I can't. Do you have one?
I mean, I'm still kind of tripping out about like this maggot's crawling around inside this woman.
See, being a femcell is almost as bad as being a femboy.
I mean, yeah, they've got like some similar letters.
See, well, they sound the same, so it must be true. No, that's if it rhymes. It must be true. I still have to prove why it's as bad. And low-key, I don't believe that fully. But I think that being a femboy is just as dangerous. It's not just as bad, but it's just as dangerous as being a femcell.
You think? Oh, okay. Just
not as bad as rot maxing. For the danger in being a femcell is rot maxing.
What's the danger of being a femboy?
The danger of being a femboy is you turn into a Nazi.
Or you convert someone to Nazism.
4chan or Reddit. So here's the thing. 4chan's better at making Nazi femboys, but Reddit's better at making femboys in general. And so if you were talking about the agenda.
A secret cabal that's like using Reddit.
Definitely not. I definitely don't think it has anything to do with the large amount of government agents that could possibly be on Reddit from that one air base. I'm not going to say the name because then I won't get in trouble for saying it, for talking about it, because I'm not. I know it's just a fun little theory.
I want to be an agent on Reddit.
It's just a game theory, but there's a lot of government agents from all around the world. So maybe it's Chinese, maybe it's Russian, who knows? But
are they all? Is their only goal to change people to femboys?
Yeah, I think that there are government agents that are hired by China to turn American citizens into femboys.
So you think the Communist Party in China is like, all right, this is how we're going to defeat the U.S. We're going to make all their men femboys.
$5,000. $5,000 a month put toward making femboys in America.
Okay. Well, I mean, really, this sounds like a storyline from like South Park.
They got two dudes. No, three dudes. They got three. Well, no, hold on. No, because sweatshops. Bro, $5,000 in Chinese government agents turning Americans to femboys goes way further than the American value of that same That's like 2 agents in America. That's like 15 agents in China. So yeah, I think it's probably more Chinese people turning Americans to femboys than our own government. Although I want to.
What do you think it is about the Chinese that they can convert Americans into femboys?
Soy.
It's just the soy.
They have experience with it. They learned how to fight against it, and if you know how to kill something, you know how to foster it. That's not true. That last part's definitely not a fact of life. There's definitely people that know how to kill things that could not raise that same thing. But no, I think that the Chinese are really, I think they're exploits at femboy husbandry. Not as in marrying them, but as in like cultivating and raising them.
Right.
Like husbandry, like farm animals.
Yeah.
I think this is the big. People talk about China and how dangerous they are, but they never really go into detail about what the real danger from China is.
Is this the real danger?
They will turn America into a femboy farm. And does anybody really want that? Yes. And that's the real scary part, is that maybe China is right.
I mean, it'd be more colorful and probably more fun.
There'd be more holes. There'd be a lot more holes. Men, if you're okay with anal and you're okay with a penis flopping around, you can be part of not the resistance, of the new future. If you want to be part of the resistance, though, go on 4chan and bully trans people. That's the best way to fight the Chinese. No, actually, it would be Reddit. 4chan has probably. I think that there are probably government agents on 4chan, but I feel like it's a lot harder to. It's a lot easier, I should say, to make things happen on Reddit. You can probably do it on
no,
4chan, but
you can definitely make a movement easier on Reddit than 4chan.
there was one
4chan
time.
just takes forever.
It's all anonymous, and if you seem too sketchy, they're just gonna call you out.
Right.
But as opposed to, there was one time I was on Reddit, and all my fucking, every time I would log in, this was when I was regularly on Reddit. I've had a Reddit account for like 14 years. This is how brain rotted I am. This was like also only like 6 years ago when I was still using Reddit. There was a page called r/195 that you could go on there and look at. It was just a bunch of photos, a bunch of memes, and the rule was that you had to post a photo before you left. And at the end of it, it was like, yep, the page is shut down. Thank you for participating in the experiment. I was like, experiment? And I'm pretty sure that was the Chinese data mining phones.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was because you had to give permissions to the page to be able to post photos. And so I think China was just data mining phones.
Yeah, there's no way I'm giving permission to that.
And I did it. I was stupid. I was like, I want to see memes, but I have to follow the rules. And I think it was a combo. I think it was a Chinese op, and I think it was them either. I think it was not either. I think it was them both trying to figure out information of Americans that were using Reddit, and possible agents if they were able to even get those, which I doubt it. But then more importantly, also seeing how gullible we are to just fucking give up our information like that. And I was one of them, and I'm never going to let that happen again.
Okay, but like you have a smartphone, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're fucked.
See,
Cooked.
Cooked.
There's not even, you can't even
I think
stop
about
it.
that often. I really do.
You can't even stop it.
It's been happening
always
more
laugh
too.
at
I think
people.
the AIs are listening to us more. But if they are, there's nothing we can really do about that.
Oh yeah, no, they absolutely are. You know, and it's one of those things where, like, you know, I've been on my phone for 2 hours, and you know, me and my girlfriend are talking about something, and then I'm like, you know, I will look that up, and I'll start typing out that sentence, and conveniently, it's the very first thing that like pops up. And you know, like I don't use my AI on my phone. Like my phone does recognize my voice. You know, like I don't use any of that. I try not to, but it listens. It listens, and like if you have a smartphone, you're fucking cooked. Your data is already gone. Like it's already in someone else's hands.
And I'm never truly worried about. I've been to jail. I've been in the hospital. My fingerprints are in the system. My blood work's in the system.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I am known. I am a known entity. China knows me. All right, they are listening to this podcast. They're
China
fans.
knows exactly what I want to buy.
Xi Jinping is going to make sure that once these episodes get released, we get our first 100 within the first month.
Bet.
And if that happens, now everybody's going to think that we're Chinese. Well, now Taiwan. There you go.
I can't wait to get
Taiwan is its own country.
From that Chinese farm of viewers.
I think that if they start trying to, that was the other thing. If they start trying to push transmaxing any more than they are, I'm not going to be okay with it.
Transmaxing.
Transmaxing. So this is the brain rot episode. This is the internet brain rot episode. Let's go. Barry's Brainrot Hour.
Yeah.
It's not a full hour. It's like Barry's brain rot. Kuda's brain rot. No, it's Barry. No, Barry. Yeah, cut this part out. Cut this episode. Delete the episode. No. Transmaxing. We can delete the episode after we talk about transmaxing.
Yeah,
I think this'll justify the episode being deleted. So on 4chan and on Reddit, but I feel like Reddit's better at it, but 4chan is where they cultivate. It's where they all go to if you're just a natural transmaxer. But transmaxing is when you're such an incel, when you hit a point of loneliness and isolation that you're like, you know what? I would rather be a a girl that is like a girlfriend to a man than to continue being a lonely man in the life that I currently live. And so you start getting black market estrogen and start locking yourself into a cage and your penis into a cage, and you look for you rot max. Not always. Sometimes you go out.
You rot max with
If
estrogen.
you live in a place that it's accepting enough, then you can just go out and find yourself like a polycule to insert yourself into and be like a unicorn for. It's called a unicorn because they don't exist and because they usually have a penis that sticks up like a unicorn's horn. Anyways, so transmaxing is
So
the
just
idea,
pointy or?
and a lot. This is a bit, Charlie Kirk shooting, all that. The guy, I saw a video that apparently there was a relationship with like a gender fluid trans person, and that was in the Discord logs. They weren't dating, but they were fucking.
Right.
He was more so like trying to take care of this schizophrenic trans person, but low key they were transmaxing, and it seems like a lot of people that are Nazis and fascists on the internet are really into people who transmax. And it's not everybody, but that's been a thing since the 90s. The gay Nazi, the gay skinhead.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's not unwarranted to believe and to notice the trend that Nazis and other types of legitimate, like authoritarian and fascist people online are really, really into dick girls, and really into the fact that they can fuck a girl. Which a lot of people say it's because they hate women. I think it's because they love men that much. It's like Roman.
Yeah. No, they love men so much.
Like they love being a man and
But
they
wanna
love
fuck
the
them, but they don't want it to
masculine.
look gay.
Yep, exactly. Because being gay goes against traditional values. Unless you go like way, 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 way back, in which case it's like that's what they want. Because see, Nazis are really good at making you think that they're not Nazis until it's too late. And this isn't even a bit now. This is just education. And this is just educational content about why Nazis fuck femboys. So it seems like when you have to lie, I think they would just be gay with like effeminate looking guys instead of going for femboys if it was more socially accepted. But the fact that it's not and trans people are, it's like, well, I fuck femboys. I fuck like trans girls, and I'm not like super gay. I'm not like really. I'm just like a little
Gay
bit
adjacent.
gay. I'm gay adjacent. I'm queer, as the leftist would call it, as the liberals would say. But we don't
That's not what
say
they
that
call it, though.
because we call it just getting it on. We're dudes. I don't know what Nazis are actually like.
Lights
I
have
never
to be
went to
turned
that
off.
side of the internet. I've heard the stories though. I know that supposedly they be fucking boy pussy all the fucking time. But it also funny enough seems like it's spreading to just regular conservatives. There's so many trans people that now just like your regular right wingers are like, maybe I'll give it a shot. We always had, same with the gay Nazis, we always had secretly gay conservatives, but now it's like, well, I don't have to be secretly gay if we have femboys. And see, this is the
You
problem.
just say you got duped.
This is the problem with transmaxing, is that it's allowing conservatives to go and like find workarounds for their beliefs. But if you're a conservative, you don't get to be gay. You guys don't get that. You guys lost. If you guys want the family unit, you don't get the gay unit. You don't get the gay agenda. And if we want to trade them, if we want to like have like what's it called whenever you do the draft, if we want to draft different like ideals between conservatives and progressives, we can do that. I'm down. But until that happens,
We should propose that to the government. And just like, look, we're just gonna have a congressional session, and we're just gonna put a belief up, and then you guys can draft it.
we can vote and see who it belongs
Who
to.
does this belong to?
That's actually like kind of similar to what happened during the French Revolution. There was a point during the French Revolution where wives couldn't feed their families, and so they just like stormed the capital and demanded the king and queen's head. And it's really funny because the royal crown was like, "Oh yeah, what the fuck? Like, take care of this." And the guards were like, "We're not just gonna kill a bunch of mothers. That's not happening, dude." They let them in to the city because they would rather like just like let them storm the gates than have a fight with the mothers of the children of the people who live in France.
Yeah, can you imagine? Just like a bunch of mothers getting slaughtered at the state house.
That was such the right decision to let them pass.
Oh, absolutely.
It would have been historically so much funnier if the guards just started like cutting the heads off of women and everybody's like, "Yo, what are you doing? Stop doing that!" And they're like, "Huh?" But that's more American. That's more what American guards do.
It's good at least like, everybody was on the same page and there wasn't like one guy that was like, "Ah!" And they're like, "No, no, no, no."
That's
like,
literally what happened in like fucking Maryland or wherever. Bloody Sunday.
Oh,
Bloody,
yeah.
not Bloody Arkansas. That's different.
Bloody Arkansas.
That's I don't know what Bloody Arkansas. I should know what Bloody Arkansas is. I don't remember. Anyways, fucking France. It's fucking. After they stormed the Capitol, the king and queen were like, "Actually, yeah, the people are in charge. Please don't kill us. The rule of the people has begun. Please don't cut our heads off." And everybody cheered. And they even cheered a little bit for Marie Antoinette, which was crazy to see because everyone hated that bitch. They got into a house in Versailles, a big house in Versailles, a big building, and they separated onto the left and the right-hand side, and they argued if the people should rule or if the king should rule. And throughout that argument, the different divide between politics was created, and that became left versus right, and that's the entire reason why we have a two-party system in the U.S. Boom. Historical. No, you came here for brain rot, and I gave you knowledge. I had to palate cleanse somehow. We've been talking about transmaxing for the last and we've been talking about transmaxing and rot maxing for the last 40 minutes. I had to give some knowledge.
Despite all that, I'm still stuck on that woman shoving meat into her vagina.
I understand that. I felt that way for like
really sticking like in my brain.
If you're anything like me, that'll stick for another like 2-3 days before it goes away. Oh, my notes.
Is there like a place online you can find these stories? Because I'm like grossly curious about them.
I'm pretty sure it's just Maggot Girl. Yeah.
Is there a shirt I can buy?
Let's find out. If it is, it's gonna shock me.
It's
gonna shock me, almost like my name is Kaya. There we go. Obligatory Hassan shocking his dog reference. We got it in. That's all I wanted to do. So that's Be My Maggot. That's not what you're talking about, but that's like for girls who are really into Bride of Chucky. It's for those who are listening and not watching the video.
No words.
There is like a little heart with two what look to be children that are wearing black. One's wearing a black dress, the other one's wearing a black jumpsuit, and they have skin masks with zippers on the mouth. One of them is blonde with blue eyes, so it seems like it could be some sort of Aryan
strange
reference. Could be like a Nazi shirt. But the boy has brown hair and brown eyes, so more than likely it's like a Christian fascist thing. That's just a naked woman. It covered the boobs though with a weird quote.
Yeah,
this is more like the girls I knew. This is what they would wear. Yeah, I don't.
Man, I wish Maggot Girl had merchandise.
I need to figure out.
Would you buy any merchandise from Maggot Girl? Or would it just be like,
Yeah, I probably would.
Have somebody else package it though. I don't want your maggoty hands.
Dude, I saw some brain rot, some AI brain rot talking about how Agartha is making the first fucking music festival from the underground. They're doing Agartha's first music festival. Yakub designed a new type of white person that's like shrimp Slavic people that are made to mine shrimp. And now, because of Azerbaijan technology, they were able to mass produce these clones and boost Agartha's economy. So now they've got a bunch of like unique Agarthan musicians, and this entire thing that I just said is an ad for a shirt that is a bunch of weird like AI generated bullshit, and it's not. It's
Yeah, it's
cool,
so
it's
weird.
fun, but it also is such a cash grab. Um, and I don't want that. If you're gonna give me a Gartha fucking like themed ads, give me a Gartha themed merchandise. Show me a
No.
map of the Earth's crust and how it all connects. Do the whole thing. Do your fucking research and make a good goddamn conspiracy shirt if you want me to buy your shit. I
AIs
hate
can't
that I
make good
loved this
conspiracies.
AI slop ad so much, and then I look at this shirt and it looks like a fucking soccer team or like tech startup. It looks like just like a work shirt. I'm like, I don't want to fucking spend $60 on this bullshit.
That's 100% a cash
But
grab.
if
But
Maggot Girl came out and was like, I'm making shirts about how I used to put rotten meat in my vagina, in a heartbeat.
she used to, like, you think she stopped? Or do you think
If
she's
she's
still, like,
alive. If she's alive and selling merchandise, I assume she's dead. She's done. She's either done or dead, baby.
she's like, you could buy the piece of meat.
No, dude, fucking people do the craziest things, and people need to go back to where they felt like they could just be honest with their fan bases and not expect an insane amount of pushback, because they know that the people that they're there, that have cultivated, that have gotten around, are there for the long haul. You know, and
All
this
Maggot
is
Girls
this
fans.
is the problem with Hassan and him shocking his dog. Brain rot. Back on the brain rot. This is the brain rot hour. What the fuck did I say? This is definitely going to be the name of the episode. I'm going to name this episode Brain Rot Hour. I don't think that it's a bad thing that Hassan shocked his dog to train his dog. I think it's a bad thing that when he got back from vacation after his dog was allowed to be a normal animal and roam around instead of being a prop or a guard animal, like literally taking a break and on a vacation, he was like, oh, you fucked your training up? Let me shock you to get you back into it. Because if you actually care about animals like he's expected to by his audience, then you would take the time and effort that it would take to properly train your dog instead of putting on a shock collar that doesn't fit anymore because you used it a year and a half ago.
Jesus. I thought
Like,
it was still pretty tight then, I assume.
his mom said she couldn't fit a. Well, you can't. You're supposed to be able to fit 2 fingers under it. I
Right,
can't even
right.
fit one. And then he went. Well, it's we've all seen the clips. I can show you the clips if you haven't seen them. But fucking Rhett and Link saw the clips. They were making jokes about it, so it's gotten around now. And I think a lot of this could have been solved if Hassan Piker, Hassanabi, name drop. Oh, pay attention to me. Don't actually. Please don't do that. I don't want to have a conversation with you. Anyways, I think that if he had just said, yeah, I shocked my dog to get it to do what I want because it's supposed to, like, protect me. I have this here so people can't, like, break into my house and attack me. I think people would be mad, but they'd be like, all right, yeah. And it would blow over. But instead, he put tape, he cut the prongs off, put tape over it, and lied.
See, like, why lie about it? It was on video.
It was on video, and it's happened multiple times on video other than that, which I will say, people are like, oh, he's so, like, blatant about it. No, this is the first time that it's happened, and we only noticed it because the dog yelped. So, like, he's actually been pretty fucking good about hiding the fact that he ever shocked his dog. But he's not good at hiding the fact that he doesn't care about his dog.
Right.
Or at least
think that's-
care more than, like, an asset that can be used.
Right.
I think
that's the main problem.
I think that if we had pygmy people still, Hassan would like buy one. I can't say
You
that.
think you'd have
That's
an
really
Oompa Loompa
mean.
factory?
What?
You think you'd have like an Oompa Loompa factory?
I think he'd just have like a couple of pygmies around the house to help out. Did you ever know about Sixpence?
No, I don't think so.
Brain rot. So Tumblr had an artist called Sixpence, an artist horror fan named Sixpence, who would post like short horror films that she found online, and like also science facts. Do you remember the
Okay.
goats that climb vertically because they crave minerals?
Yeah.
That was Sixpence.
Okay.
Sixpence also, her parents owned a small Filipino child or Indonesian child that they bought.
They owned a small Indonesian child.
They bought it. They bought the child from its family and took it. And people on Tumblr found out about this. This was like 2015, so it was right around the social justice movement, and like Sixpence was very popular with like the progressive Tumblr crowd. And people started being like, "Oh my God, your family owns slaves," and she was like, "Listen. That's not like everybody else doesn't also do this. And I'm speaking out about it. I don't like that my uncle bought a person. And I think that it's bad."
I think most people are a little further removed from their family owning slaves than like my uncle that I hung out with last weekend. Yeah, you know that little Indonesian kid. He's such a character.
And so it was like, everybody was like, "Well, hold on, you don't understand. You're being really tone deaf about this." And she's like, "What? You're telling me that I should just stop talking to my family because they own slaves?" And
Yeah,
people were
probably.
like, "Kind of, yeah. That is what we're saying." And she got dogged on really hard and disappeared from Tumblr after that. She just fucking dipped.
She probably lives in the slave house with her Indonesian
I bet
brother.
she has a different Tumblr where she makes completely different content. Nobody's any the wiser.
I bet she went and bought her own Indonesian child.
Ooh, maybe got off the internet, bought her own child. She's been saving up fucking all of this like Tumblr money. I don't know how much money she was actually making off of Tumblr, but honestly, at the time, if anybody was gonna be making Tumblr in the horror or making money on Tumblr off Tumblr in the horror side of things, it would be Sixpence. But see,
You think that's what they bought the Indonesian child for?
Well, I think that's what she bought the Indonesian child for.
Oh.
I think they bought it just to fucking like just for shits and gigs. Imagine like that's like buying a fancy car for a person like that. You're out in
Calm down,
Indonesia.
that's a Hyundai at best.
Yeah, it's not like it's like an Indian child. That's the real expensive stuff. You got to find black market in that
Yeah,
sense.
you don't even have to hire a
I
tutor
say
for
that.
one.
I bet there's like a above market child trade in India. Now that I've made that comment, but no, I think that Hassan, with the way he treats his dog, with what I've seen on camera, he might love that dog the same way that I bet that uncle loves his Filipino slave or Indonesian. I think it's Indonesian slave. But you're still treating it like a piece of property as opposed to its own entity with autonomy.
Yeah, it's
Like
more of a tool.
They bought that child from its family. Like
What do you
principally,
think,
that's
like,
so
what do you
crazy.
think they like bought the Indonesian child to do? Like,
I think like as they said, it was a housekeeper. It's just like takes care of the household.
what age are we talking? Any
Like,
idea?
I think they bought it when they was like preteen, from what I remember. I don't want to say an age. My mind is telling me 8, but my body's telling me no. My body's telling me that's the wrong answer. So I'm gonna say preteen is when they
That's
bought it,
wild.
and the post was made as like a teenager. The child was like a teen at that point.
Oh, and the child was posting about being purchased?
No.
Oh.
The child was posted about.
Oh, okay.
I remember having a dream after I saw
Like,
that
you
post.
never give the help of the means to slander your name.
I remember like legitimately having a dream after I saw that post where I was the child and I was kept in a cage underneath like a bunk bed that had a cover covering it, like a blanket covering it. And this is the type of behavior that my child mind came up with that I feel like certain people on the internet Hassan would do for just in pure enjoyment. And did you ever fucking see more movie talk? Have you ever see American Psycho?
I love that movie.
So you know how after the big spoiler for American Psycho, after the big twist that you find out that he's like a fucking that he is whoever the fuck, and that he not a killer, or is he a killer? He's not a killer. He's just fantasizing about what if he was that badass.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
there's kind of an immaturity to the attitude that he carries himself with. That's like indicative of the sociopathic nature of upper echelon society in New York. The way that like you see rich people in the 90s and even the early 2000s that were just like, "Well, I want it now." Like it was just like fully immature and almost childlike, but
Yeah.
also like businessmen that work in offices. It feels like the entertainment sector is that way on streaming. And like there's a whole group of Californian streamers that are very like manicured and appearance focused, but also their personality seems so superficial, and not just like a vain popular girl way, but like a high school like 14, 15-year-old, well, I have to think about what all my friends have to say, as opposed to having their own opinions. And that's where I feel like the root of this entire Hassan drama comes from, and why it's been so fun for everybody that doesn't actually care, that's just making jokes about it. Because there are people who were legitimately upset, both in his own audience because he hurt his dog, but also outside of his audience because this is something to lambaste him for. And we all...
I'm surprised PETA hasn't tried to cancel him.
PETA said it was chill, which is the craziest part of this that makes it feel like this is astroturfed as fuck. Like, who the fuck? Which one of his relatives
when has PETA ever said anything was chill?
Was it Shank, or was it his Hungarian politician father that paid PETA to just be like, actually, we are okay with what Hassan did because it doesn't seem like he shocked his dog. Yeah, PETA, we're okay with it. Even
That's
PETA.
gotta be the politician.
So yeah, that's I would say that, except for the fact that it seems like his politician father doesn't really give a shit about this drama. It's only when he says shit about America deserving 9/11 that he steps in. Starts view botting his content for him. But no, I think that Hassan is immature and he needs to learn how to grow up, honestly. That's my hot take. Hassan, you need to fucking grow up and get rid of your dog or treat it like a guard dog. One or the other. Either, like, because you don't seem like you have enough empathy to be able to treat your dog with the respect that it deserves. He said I don't want my dog to roam around like a cow.
Dogs have never run around like cows.
They did roam around like dogs.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen a cow roam around.
That's what they do. They walk around like a dog, not like a cow. And a dog should have the free Kaya from the bed to the mailbox.
Maybe further. I mean, that mailman's a dickhead.
Kaya is recall trained. So I think Kaya deserves to be able to go further. I think that Kaya should be able to be in every single yard that Kaya's ever wanted to be in.
Pretty much as far as it wants to, as long as it's within earshot.
I think we should have a stream on Thursdays that instead of Hassan, it's just Kaya. I mean, he just stands up and from his fucking chair all the time. That's like that's the standard. So just put the dog there instead.
That would be amazing.
Like I feel like that's why he has it.
Well, that's not why he says he has it.
But no, of course it's not why he says he has it. But I think I feel like the whole situation with the dog's existence is so he can have something else instead of his own. He streams for 8-9 hours a day. He's like, if I don't have to talk and people can look at my dog and see how cute my dog is, then the chat's still active. People are still doing things.
It feels like cheating though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you think that anal penetration from girl dick is gay?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. So this is a girl fully transitioned to a guy.
Well, other than the penis, yeah. On estrogen, got the titties.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I mean, you are getting a dick in the ass. What?
I disagree. I think that anal penetration. Here's the thing.
That's a dick in the ass.
If I'm getting fucked in the ass by a girl, am I looking up at the girl? Am I seeing her titties? Am I seeing her long, beautiful hair and her luscious
You like craning
eyelashes?
backwards?
The way that her lips partially open as she leans in for a kiss? If I'm seeing all that, am I gay? No.
You're still getting a dick in the ass.
But like, if I'm
But,
soft from the
okay.
dick in if you put anything in my ass, I'm gonna get hard. I think most men
I
can
think
say
most men
that.
would.
So we can't say that because the penis is inserted that you are gay for that.
Well, where's
Only if
where's
you're
the limit?
attracted.
Like, is it like, obviously an artificial object like a dildo going in there doesn't make a man gay.
I've heard differently.
But so see, like, what's the limit?
I think
What's
the
the
limit
limit?
is if you see a penis and you get a hard on, that's fucking gay.
Okay, so like, what, you just shield yourself from seeing the penis, and that makes it okay?
I mean, how often do you see a penis when you're getting fucked in the ass?
Well, no, I mean, like, do you have to like
Personally,
shield away from it the whole sexual experience, or like
no,
you
you
got
just
blinders
look
on,
up.
or
You just look up at the beautiful lips opening up for a kiss. Like I described earlier, you remember the
so
description
there's
of
no
the lip?
foreplay. It's just straight to ass fucking.
Well, I mean, I'm
'Cause, like-
bisexual, so I'll do the foreplay. But if you're a straight man and you're having sex with a trans woman, I think there's a way to do that that's straight. And you're right, there wouldn't be any foreplay.
just
But
straight to dick and butt.
yeah, I think that if you're just like making out with a girl, touching her titties, and then you take off your pants, she takes off her pants, and then she fucks you in the ass, I don't know if that's gay. I don't think that would be gay in any other situation. So just because it's a real flesh and blood penis, now I'm gay because I like the idea of a dick going in my ass. But that's what
But like,
makes
it wouldn't feel any different than a dick going in your ass, because that's what a dick going in your ass feels like. So like,
But like, you could also. There's a lot of different
Gay.
toys that can go in your ass.
gay.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree here, and I think that's the podcast. I think that I don't think I have anything more to say to you about this subject. And we're just gonna have to wait till we can bring a third party in, because we're gonna be talking about this till the cows come home if we keep going.
No, because I love it. Because
vehemently-
sexuality is so muddy, so it's fun to talk.
I
about.
vehemently believe that while the act is gay, if you don't get off from the penis, then you're not gay.
So you're just getting fucked in the ass and not getting off?
I mean, no, you're getting fucked in the ass, but you're getting off to titties.
Bro, you gotta like bend around like a fucking like, I don't know, dude. You gotta like snap your spine and turn around and look at them titties bouncing around.
I can tell you haven't been fucked in the ass. We'll come back to this. I'm gonna explain anal to our co-host, and we'll return to this conversation at a later date. That's been the podcast. I hope you enjoyed Brainrot Hour. I don't know if we're gonna do this Brainrot Hour again. We might. It was fun, but I don't know if it made a good episode. You guys can decide. All right, peace.